So we got a vid today from a small channel, Z-Riff, and it is I Hate Modern Dating. So let's get to it.
Yeah, so lately at work, I've just been thinking a lot about my future. Not just about how am I supposed to get a job currently and like a new one. And thought about love. That's a topic I want to discuss today. I know a lot of you mentioned in the comments in my previous video about me talking to you all about how I never really had a friend that's a girl. And that made me wonder what is really love and what is the purpose of even finding a girlfriend, a boyfriend in the first place, right?
I'm going to say two things before we continue. The first thing is, I know it's hard to avoid at this point, but it's possible he's never heard of the pill or hasn't taken the pill. But the second thing is, I think dude is I don't know if innocent is the word that I want to say. I say optimistic, because he's referring to it as love, and he's talking about love and love and love, and like I I think he's deep within the social conditioning as far as what men and women's relationships are, as far as society and stuff like that, as far as what you're fed, since you're a kid. I think he is still sedated off of that. We'll watch the video to find out more, though. Just the fact that he referred to it as love instead of just saying relationships or dating. I think he's really locked in to the Disney right now.
And I ended up spiraling into the abyss. And so there were certain things I want to talk about. Some of the things I'm going to mention you probably already know about, but hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. It's just been stuff I've just been thinking at work because I really feel like I feel very stuck out in my life right now. Maybe some of you feel the same. Like currently I'm pretty much 26 years old. I have no girlfriend and just working paycheck to paycheck right now. So here are my thoughts on love initially. Thought long and hard on this. And so first of all, I just feel like love in our modern society, if you look all around us, it almost feels like it's very commercialized. If you go on Netflix, watch any show, it feels like love is being pushed. Romance is being pushed and almost forced upon in certain films. Even zombie apocalypse films like The Last of Us. There's like a love.
I think that he's right to some extent, because if you just look at love, if we talking about cinema, when it comes to cinema or just even TV, you could watch an anime or you could watch an action joint and you could see a love story in there. But also they have movies dedicated strictly to love as far as romance movies and rom-coms. So that's not anything new, but that's something that's definitely being pushed. But I will say this to that. I think the dysfunction and debauchery and lust are being pushed more. That is why you see stuff like Baddies. That is why Jersey Shore was popping over 15 years ago. That is why when you look on Netflix, like you mentioned, you have not just Love Island, where I'm sure they be fucking on Love Island. You also have the blind. What is the blind shit? I forget what that is. So you could say they probably pushing love on that to some extent, but you also got Temptation Island, which that's definitely debauchery. So when you look around and you look at reality TV and a lot of the things that women watch, like Love and Hip Hop or whatever the case may be, Real Housewives and all that, a lot of debauchery is being pushed. A lot of drama around relationships. You got Love After Lockdown. You got 90 Day Fiance, and a lot of these are just dysfunctional relationships. So there's a lot of that going on. But also, because I'm big on music, one thing I will tell you, if you go and you look at the top songs of all time, when you get outside of rap and country music, because those are more cultural music, most of the songs that you're going to see are love songs. Matter of fact, throw certain genres of rock in there as far as metal. because that's like metal has its own built-in culture as well. But in general, most of the songs that you're gonna see as far as the biggest songs of all time, they're love songs.
Sing in it, like it almost feels like Hollywood itself wants to push for romance. Like that's almost like something they want to constantly put out in films, even if it's a comedy or something that does not make sense, like action film. So I don't really understand why it is. Maybe you understand why. Maybe love is what something humans inherently desire. Maybe it's something that gets us to feel an emotion that we can't feel elsewhere, right?
Pretty much, but I'm gonna let them cook.
Like if you get a dopamine hit from playing a video game or scoring a goal in soccer, you probably don't feel the same way you feel when you feel love for the first time and fall in love for someone. So it makes me wonder, is love like a special emotion? Like, is there any emotion that can replicate it anyway? Like, even artificially? Like, what is the true feeling of love? Like, how do you know if you. It's a really interesting question because we all feel happy, right? At times, but love just feels like a very different, unique feeling that only like animals can feel. And it's almost like a sense of consciousness, right? Like makes me wonder, and it almost feels like when people go through love, they go through many phases. There's the honeymoon phase, right? When you first meet someone, you feel like you're absolutely perfect. Everything is sunshine and rainbows and unicorns, and that's like the initial phase of love. And there are many different types of love. There's the bodily love, which is love for one's body. That's probably the most common type of love nowadays. People just tend to have physical attraction to others, right? Maybe they have an hourglass figure. That's the ideal type for girls that many guys chase when looking for ideal like partner to mate with, because that shows that the woman is healthy, right? If they're slim waist, and definitely physical attraction, physical intimacy is something people chase, like men or like whoever you are. If you're attracted to women, you're gonna be probably wanting to chase for that.
You're getting warmer.
And vice versa, if you're a woman, you probably want a man that's muscular, have six-pack abs. Don't look at me, I only have a single ab, but that's besides the point. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that women also chase typically men that are taller because they want a men to protect them. They want, that's typically like the role, I guess, in our society. Like even back in the cave dweller days, men would go out and hunt, protect the women who would just stay home, cook, take care of the kids. I know that's very stereotypical, but typically that's how our current society portrays the gender roles, right? And I think that has to do with like, natural selection and how we even evolved as humans in the first place. And it's interesting because a lot of people say they love someone, right, for their personality. Well, a lot of times I don't think that's fully true. People obviously care about physical appearance, but when someone actually cares about someone's personality, they actually care about someone's soul, like someone's
All right, we getting colder now. We going off the deep end.
internal, internally. Like you can't see someone's personality from the outside fully. Sometimes you have to look inwards, and it's interesting about how a lot of people nowadays just like look externally. They look at someone's physical attributes, features, right? If they have beautiful eyes, their eye color, their skin color, their hairstyle, their height. Almost like in our society nowadays, a lot of people fixate too much on the physical attributes of people when finding love. And I know some of you might say, hey, it's been like that since the caveman days, since the first human, but I feel like it has been almost been excessive nowadays, like even in media.
So I'm gonna stop right here and say a few things. So the first thing, when it comes to air quote love, I don't say that word much on the channel. It's not a word I say much. That's not a word that's heavily used in my vocabulary. The second thing is, if we're talking about love, the physical, as far as like the physical body and just all of the physical, that is not where love really lives, right? That's not where love really lives. The third thing, the reason I don't use the word love that much, and especially on this channel, is because it is a very loose and fluid word. You could have love for a car, and then you could love a car. You could have love for your kids. You could love your kids. You could have love for a woman. You can be in love with a woman. And guess what? All of those loves, and we could even throw pets in there, all of those loves are going to look different. People love to talk about unconditional love. Most love comes with conditions, especially if you're a man. You heard him say or question the feeling of love and what love feels like and basically label it as a feeling. A lot of people consider love a verb. A verb. And they say it's a verb because your actions show whether you love or not. Because you could say it, but what do you do as far as actions of love? Now, if you see the layers of complexity to that, right? Let's talk about fear. That's a different word, but a different feeling. You could fear cats. You could fear dogs. You could fear clowns. Fear is typically the same, but there are just degrees to it. Fear means you have an apprehension towards something to where you want to avoid something and it scares you. That's what fear is. So fear is very plain and straightforward, whether you are absolutely terrified or whether you just a little bit apprehensive. And fear is not a feeling that you have to go through effort to develop or anything like that. Fear is not a two-way street. Love is. That's just what it is. Like, so everybody feels fear at some point in their life. Everybody listening to this knows what fear feels like. But everybody listening to this might not know what being in love feels like. We could take other things like hate, anger, sadness, even joy. Even joy. Those things are easier to identify than love, and they're less flexible and fluid than love. Especially hate, because that's the direct opposite. It's not that deep, which we're not going to unpack that. But that's why you rarely hear me use the word. I would rather identify exactly what's going on. And the last thing I'm going to say, as far as if you ask me what I think love is, it varies. If we're talking about romantic love, there's nothing objective about it. So I could tell you what I think, but if I tell you what fear is, that's pretty fucking objective. You can't remix all of that, but I'll give it to you right now as far as what I think love is. Basically, love is a level of attraction, desire, and I'm not sure what other words I want to use, but a level of attraction or desire that leads to you not only forming and upholding and honoring a commitment to be with said, the person as far as your romantic partner, but also this feeling and this admiration drives you to do certain things that benefit your partner. And this is the thing, it's deeper than just what I said. It's deeper than that, because when we begin to talk about compromises and things like that, that's you not just doing something for your partner that's benefiting them, but that's doing something to keep the relationship going. Keep the relationship going. Now, this is another thing I'm going to say. When we talk about love, some people get that mixed up, which he kind of did when he was talking about the physical body, with lust and obsession. Lust and obsession. People who say they're dangerously in love or they love this cat so much that they would kill somebody for him or whatever the case, that's obsession. You out here and you like, man, I will like you. Let's just pretend you like a dude and you like on some Harlem Night shit where the dude got that, the detective got that coochie put on him, right? And he abandoned his family for the chick who put the coochie on him. He is not in love. He lusts her a lot. He lusts her heavily. He enjoys the experience that she gives him sexually. So that's lust. But on top of that, he is obsessed with her sexually. Not as a person. He doesn't think she's a great artist and that she, no. That sex blows his mind, so he will act like he's into whatever she got going on. She could be a serial killer. He'll help her. He'll help her hide the bodies because he's obsessed. So that's my soliloquy on love. Let's get back to the vid.
People tend to exaggerate proportions in like the drawings and stuff. It's almost like people take physical attributes even more seriously. Like back then, you probably, if you're a woman, you probably don't care if a man's 6 feet tall or have six-pack abs. Nowadays, I feel like the standards for the physical appearance is much higher. You need to look at least like 8 out of 10 to even have a chance, I feel like.
That's not the case, but he doesn't see evidence otherwise. This is that black pill shit that y'all be in my comments like I disagree with you. I only agree with 2% of what you say. So I'm not going to harp on this, man. We done did this a million times. But I will say, because dude is 26, I watched a movie older than him. Galkaiser. It's an anime. I'm going to put it on the screen. When we had like Cinemax or something like that, and anime was going crazy, right? They had this anime on and it had fan service. That's what they called it. And that's when like the boobs is jiggling around, the butt is jiggling in the animation. So they were exaggerating stuff like that back in the 90s.
And if you look around, everybody, like being 6 feet tall is not exclusive to just one person, right? Many people can be 6 feet tall.
Hey, I promise. No disrespect to him, but if you watch the channel, like no bullshit. I did not know this was coming as far as the height shit. Just in case like he or somebody who's not hip to the channel watches this. Like I done did like 4 height videos in the past month.
In fact, it's stupid fly, man. Like, I don't know why a fly just flew by. Sorry if you saw that on camera, but basically what I'm trying to say is that if you look at it, there are many people out there who are 6 feet tall, but if you think about it, certain people, like women or men, like chase certain physical attributes. For example, they want someone who's blonde hair or 6 feet tall. Now, you can find it from many people, but some people just think that's unique from one person, right? It's almost like people nowadays are super picky when trying to find someone they love. And they go through these dating apps and profiles. And that's why I kind of hate dating apps, because it feels very superficial, feels too standardized, sort of similar to the process of a job interview, right? You're constantly filtering out like different people and just trying to find the right candidate to live the rest of your life with. I mean,
let me help all y'all out. If you're not on Match.com, you're not finding a wife on a dating site. And even then, I don't know how that's working nowadays. They used to have commercials swearing by that.
I just don't think that makes sense. And I just feel like overall, going back to what I was saying earlier, in film, like movies, video games, I feel like romance has just been commodified. And it's just social construct nowadays. Like people see it as something that's inherently exists in humans, and we should all seek love and romance. And if you don't seek it, you're weird. You're unconventional. Everybody should get a significant other, someone they love, right? But I feel like that's you shouldn't really force love upon someone, right? People shouldn't find another person just due to societal pressure or maybe pressure from the parents. Like they'll say like, "Hey, you're 30 years old, still haven't married." Like I know growing up in an Asian household, it's a lot like that. It's frustrating. And
I'm asking this in the most sincere, honest way, and this is not a negative stereotype that I'm about to say. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that in a moment. But that's what kind of confused me earlier. I'm like, you 26, but you working check to check and you're Asian. How does that happen? Now, that's not to say that no Asians work check to check or anything like that. But a lot of them, I would say probably, I don't know if it's the majority of them. I'm not about to look up no statistics. But a lot of them get careers, go to college, and they're forced into school by their dads and moms. And you see the comedians say that all the time, that they are disappointed. And this goes to like, people from India and just all throughout Asia. Like, their parents be disappointed in them if they take any route other than that. So this is something that's consistent that you see with a lot of Asian entertainers, right? And the reason I say it's not a negative stereotype is because somebody will see this and be like, well, whoa, well, how you black and you not a gangbanger? Like, shut your bitch ass up. This is not putting them down or him down in any way. So, yeah.
a lot of people just nowadays expect the perfect person, right? From the get-go, right? They'll go in dating apps, swipe right if they like someone, and they're constantly filters through different people, and they expect to find the perfect person. But in fact, there's a saying I remember. It's like, if you can't love someone at the worst, you can't possibly love someone at their best. Which means that you shouldn't expect someone to be ideal initially, right? You and the other person should grow together as equals. And if you think about it, if you have super high standards for someone from the get-go, right, it'll only go down from here because during the honeymoon phase, everything's gonna be absolutely perfect. And then you're gonna start noticing pain points in the person. Maybe they don't do their dishes. Maybe they're lazy. Maybe you notice they have insecurities, right? And you notice their pain points. And some of it might be absolutely turn-offs, red flags, right? So it's interesting to go into a relationship with an open mind. Too many people go into a relationship like a job interview. They expect it to be the ideal job and you're gonna serve for the rest of your life, right? That's not exactly the case. There's gonna be bottlenecks. There's gonna be roadblocks during a relationship. That's completely normal.
And see, when he says stuff like this, it sounds like he has a very good handle and understanding of what's going on when it comes to relationships, men and women, and stuff like that. But where I think his deficiency is he's bought into the propaganda that, you know, a lot of people think you have to be perfect or that you have to be perfect. You see a lot of that online. So that's number one. So I can understand why he would think that. Number two, you see some women on your social media regurgitating that. But the thing is, you have to go past what people say and see what they actually do. In the first place that we start is only 18% of people make 100K in the US. So that six-figure shit, he didn't mention that. That goes out the window. You see all these women having kids. You see all these single mothers running around here. Do you think that they're all fucking people or having kids by people that make six figures? Of course they aren't. Because guess what else you see these chicks saying that won't go 50-50 and all that? Guess what else you see them saying? You'll see them saying, yo, my baby dad's so broke, he don't give me no money, blah, blah, blah. And I want to say this real quick because I'm not about to make a video about this, what I'm about to mention. But you know the SNAP benefits is fucked up right now, right? Why all these racist motherfuckers trying to make black women the face of fucking SNAP and EBT and all of this shit, making all these racist ass memes when white people get it the most? They get it the most. It's the crazy motherfuckers want to make they want to make black women the face of EBT and food stamps and shit like that. But then, like, when we get into the real conversations, oh, it's veterans with this and it's white people with this. Let's cut the bullshit. Let's stop the racist shit. Let's stop all the fucking bullshit that be in the Facebook groups and just all in the racist spaces online. But we done with that. Let's get back to what I was saying. So that's one thing. The other thing is when we talk about people over 6 foot as far as dudes, still a low percentage of dudes that are over 6 foot. So that's another fucking myth. Do you think all of these babies that these chicks is having, all of these chicks, it's so many whores out here. If a chick got 30 bodies, do you think all of them dudes is over 6 foot? Fuck no. So then we get to the reality that I mentioned. Even though we went to the reality when we talk about chicks talking slandering their baby dads for being broke, but when you see what they actually do, if you look around and you're in the right places, you'll see short dudes get some buns. You'll see average sized dudes get some buns. You'll know a guy who is 5'7" who gets a lot of bitches. 5'8" gets a lot of bitches. 5'9" gets a lot of bitches. You'll know a chick that is ready to fight over a dude that is under 6 feet tall and just sells weed. And weed dealers is, if he's not the plug, he's not making that much money. He's not making that much money. But she just like, does she get to smoke for free? These chicks fighting. And then guess what? This broke motherfucker gets a poly out of these chicks. He's having threesomes with them. But they were just fighting over this dude. And if you think that's not going on with some white dude in a suburb near you, you're fucking out of your mind. You don't know what's going on. Let me give you another one. The chick that you've been looking at, that you want to fuck with, she has a boyfriend. Her boyfriend is unemployed. She wants him to get a job, but he doesn't want to get a job. Guess what? That bitch might turn you down. She might not be interested in you. She might never give you the time of day. But she has low self-esteem. And she can't take how good you try to treat her. But guess what? Mr. Bum at her crib, the bum at her crib that she's in a relationship with, he fucking hates her guts. He treats her bad. He spit in her face. He spit in her face. And she stayed with him. She stayed the fuck with him. I could do this all day, but you need to tap into reality. By the way, I felt the need to say this. That last one is a 1,000% true story.
And people don't like to learn from mistakes. They just want everything to go smoothly. And if they notice a single issue with a person, they'll give up on that person, sadly. And that's the issue with dating apps. It turns this into a very standardized, superficial process where you don't really initially even get to know the person at first. Like the first date almost feels like it's been set up by the dating app itself. And don't even get me started with microtransactions, right? You have to spend like extra money and fees just to see who liked your profile. It's ridiculous, man. Like companies capitalize on people finding love. Like this should not be the case, right? It's almost been it's pretty much commercialized to the point where companies want to make profit off people trying to find love. And yeah, basically people go into dating apps with super high expectations, and people just need to humble up, I feel like, in today's world.
Very quickly, women swipe on 5 to 8% of men. They swipe right and select 5 to 8% of men. When you look at men, we swipe 40% of the time. So just off that right there, you're cooked. Like everybody listening to this is cooked. Let me tell you something. I know a man who is a fucking model and he's white. He's got the fucking muscles, but he's also modeled like in Paris and shit during fashion week. He's not a fucking local dude. Like he's international with this shit, dog. The dude looks like fucking handsome Squidward. This is the guy. The guy that he's describing like, oh, women's standards is high. That's this guy. That's this guy. Now I say that to say, even he is having issues when it comes to Tinder. And I don't think it's not that he doesn't get matches. I think that from the conversations I've had with him, it's because he doesn't match up with the fine shit so much and that there's so much mid on the shit. And even the mid is not matching sometimes. And this is the deal. This is why I say that. Because that's no slight to dude at all. I've seen how chicks react to dude. I know what it is. Like, some motherfuckers are just objectively handsome. Like, it just is what it is. Like, he's got the full pit. No Diddy, I don't give a fuck how motherfuckers feel about what I'm saying. But no Diddy. Once I seen that, I even said it to him, like, yo, if you were having problems with the dating apps, everybody's fucking cooked. Why even get on that shit? Why even get on that shit? I'll tell you, if I was somebody who, like, my face was on here, I would ask for permission to put him on the fucking screen. Just so you could see who the fuck he is. You are much better off approaching in person and getting rejected than you are fucking doing Tinder. You're better off sending 100 DMs on Facebook, Instagram, and even fucking Twitter, like commenting in somebody's comments trying to get at them. You're better off doing that than fucking getting on Tinder. Like, Tinder is fucking cooked. I don't know, man. Don't pay them shit. Don't even get on their fucking platform. Don't download that shit no more. I don't give a fuck if you download Hinge, Bumble, or whatever the fuck. They still fucking you the same way, and that company still owns a lot of those apps. But yeah, the dating app shit is dead.
And that's why I really don't like dating apps. It sets unrealistic expectations for people. And love is something that needs to be nurtured, I feel like. It needs to be almost like an art form. You need to grow, learn from it, and it's also embodies patience, right? Kindness. Being accepting and tolerant of someone's weaknesses, right? Everyone has flaws. It's okay to have flaws.
Yo, do you see how much he says as far as what love is? That is why I don't use the word love on this channel, and it's not a big part of my vocabulary. Not only is it too fluid, it's way too fucking subjective, and you could put a million, like, love is preparing the motherfucking pancakes in the morning. Like, it's so many things, so I just don't even, I stay away from the word. But we done with the video, man. He got about 10 more minutes left. If you want to watch the full video, I got it linked in the description. If I don't, remind me, I'll put it in there. Subscribe if you're new here, man. I'll catch y'all.